Hey friend, welcome to the Mad Painter Show. Today's topic, hard talks. How is this going about easing things is because when we get into relationships and having these hard talks, it helps build the bond. It helps develop intimacy, trust, etc., etc., etc. But before we have this with anybody else, honey, it first begins with us. So, yes, we may have a hard time having these hard talks with other people, but when we begin to first start having these hard talks with ourselves, it starts to get easier. Not necessarily saying that the hard talks get easier, but in putting yourself in a position to have that hard talk and to put it on the table like, look, we need to talk about that. That gets easier because you start practicing with yourself. So the benefits of having hard talks with self, aside from, developing relationships with other people and whatever, because this is starting with you and developing your character. So these hard talks starts to develop the intimate relationship with you. You are learning how to listen to the true self within you. And you also get past asking yourself surface questions, because as you get in the habit of having these hard talks, it's like you're dissecting deeper and deeper and deeper. And once you're getting yourself to a place of dissecting these pressures, these issues, these feelings of whatever this is making you feeling stuck, or whatever it is that you feel like you need to achieve, that you need to sit down and have a little chit chat with yourself about, that's what part of the hard talks are about. And you want to be able to listen, because you're getting in this dissecting, you're getting to a place of getting deeper and deeper with the question. It's no longer surface, because now you're going deeper within yourself. And as you go deeper within yourself, now you're also putting yourself in a place to listen to the true self within. And when you're listening to the true self within, friend, this ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. It has absolutely nothing to do with anybody else. Yes, we may have been affected by someone, whatever went on, but we are now looking at us, the result, the consequence of this thing, or what we're looking at us. We're not pointing in a finger, we're just strictly looking at us. So we're learning to listen, we're learning how to be real with ourselves, and we're also developing an intimate relationship with these hard talks that we're having with ourselves. Friend, this is developing self-awareness. You're learning how to be more in tune with yourself. You'll be amazed by the things that you tell yourself when you are open to receive the truth. So how do we go about doing these hard talks? Getting rid of the distraction and actually sitting down with yourself, allowing yourself to reflect, allowing yourself to go past your emotions. Because, friend, in having these hard talks with ourselves, we'll kind of have a hard time being truthful with ourselves because of how that makes us feel. We have to get past those feelings, because this is how we really start getting past those stuck areas, when we be honest and for real, because this isn't a thing about a good thing or a bad thing, but we're just in a place with ourselves and actually analyzing and observing what's been going on with us and listening to ourselves. Now, surface wise, for an example, I thought about, if you haven't heard any of my stories about lactose intolerance in my body before, yeah, here's another story. I just thought about, in my mind, I want pizza, I want ice cream, and yeah, it may do a little rumbly tumbly in my belly, but here in a place of growing, because I got tired of being bloated, I got tired of feeling like I was fat, I got tired of feeling a certain way but this ice cream and this pizza tastes super good. So my mind is like, in parts of my body was like, we're craving this thing. We want this. And so how we go about having these hard talks are reflecting. And reflecting, this is part of self-awareness. What is our body telling us? So I would have like warning signals because my mind and my desires would want one thing, but my body would be reminding me like, well, remember how you were feeling that last time we had that and we wasn't really feeling that good. And my mind was like, we can get past that. We just take a little bit of that, whatever that non-dairy stuff is that's supposed to help you not get the bubble guts, but lactate, thank you. And no disrespect to the lactate people if you're anybody in the lactate industry that is watching this, but I mean, it did a little bit of something, but it didn't stop the mucus or the bloat. But so anyway, so it got to a point where my body was like, oh, you don't want to listen? You don't want to listen? I'm going to show you. Because I'm about to show you how this going to be your last time eating some pizza or some ice cream. Baby, on purpose, that was my last time. One time I did it by accident. It was a reminder again. Like I thought that was your disco because you ain't going to be able to walk this time. So, friend. Now, this is just like, and I was saying this is surface because even though it has something to do with, my stomach, my body, my diet, etc., because that's a little deeper than surface, but it's still a surface thing because we're going to like a low level appetite. And you know how the stomach is like right there connected with those private areas, and we'll have appetites and desires in those things too. And sometimes we'll forget the consequences. And I mean, even though I'm saying consequences, because you have good and bad consequences, they'll be different at different times. But in looking at a thing on a full scale, especially when we're getting the pressure of so and so and so and so, and this is for my bros and my sis. We're getting this pressure because they being extra seductive and want to check on us at a time where we're feeling a little bit lonely or a smidge bit vulnerable, or they saying we was progressing in life and want to be like, hey, big head. And so we want to look at the consequences of these things because this starts off with the hard talk. Like, okay, yes, this is what we want, we feel good, and looking at, and getting deeper into what you want. Because even in reflecting on myself, I have sugar-coated stuff that because I want to go out on a date or because I want this. That was something I was just trying to logically make up in my head to sound good because the other part of my body, I already knew what I really wanted. And it's like, we got to get to a point where we have to stop playing games and making up these excuses for other people and ourselves and really looking at the bottom line of, no, what is it that you really want from this? And it has nothing to do, oh, well, there, so-and-so is turning me on, or so-and-so is looking so good, or so-and-so is doing such and such. No, it has nothing to do with so-and-so. I'm not caring right now how they're making you feel. And baby, just like I'm having this talk with us on the tubes, I have this talk with myself. This is coming to the self-talk because it may start off being hard, but this is how we start getting past those stuck areas because we keep going round and round because we get caught up in these emotions and reflecting back on memory lane and how something had us feeling and it tasted so good. And we'll remember the good part of it, but not remember that other part that was like, that had us saying, I'll never do this again back then. But then when that feeling come up like, don't you want to do this again? They'd be like, yeah. And so, friend, this is where we're having this, start really having this self-talk at. So, and looking at how what we're paying attention to and how we're going about initiating this self-talk. Because, yes, we have to look at the real consequences of a thing. Because we're going through and dissecting like, Why do we want this? Where did this start from? What's going on with this? You know what I'm saying? And we're listening from a loving and truthful self within us, because it's a little piece of it there, you know. And this is where we start, because if we've been doing a lot of lying to ourselves, we got to listen real hard, friend, for that truthful part of us, because it's been covered under all them lies. And it's like you got to dig deep. This is why it's called the treasure, because you got to dig deep, baby. Dig deep. So looking at part of us that is preventing us from growing, looking at those situations where we're stuck in habits and routines and things that are feeling like they have control of us. But what are we doing that is giving the control? What is it that we're desiring from this that we're like, because deep down inside, you know something is like no, friend. You know it's like no. But why are we pushing that down? And part of why we're pushing that down is because it is something that we are desiring, that we're not wanting to be truthful about. And this is where this self-talk comes in, that because the more we start getting in the habit of being real with ourselves and having these self-talks, this flows more with us being real with ourselves. This flows more in like, wait a minute now. And even in recognizing where we need help. Because we may feel like we strong in everything and we could do this, but when it comes deeper and sitting down and taking a minute and not allowing those particular thoughts to rise, not letting those foundational voices, because this is another way in how we're going about having this self-talk, is paying attention to those foundational voices, negative self-talk or whatever. And this is how we're going about changing even that negative self-talk. And paying attention to those things that are holding you back, those things that are pressuring you forward towards things that aren't benefiting you, and that's keeping you in this stuck place and keeping you complaining, etc. And not looking necessarily at those particular things like we're pointing a finger, but paying attention to what we really want, friend. And there's nothing wrong with this. This is how we're getting to a place of listening more to ourselves, having more self-awareness, preparing our ears to what's truth? What about truth? Because now we're seeking it. We're seeking it even within ourselves. So we're looking at stuff and we're not looking at a thing and this is what's wrong with me now. This is what I'm trying to change. And no, this is a thing and we're analyzing this. We're observing it and seeing like what's really happening in this thing when I do this and when I do that. And I mean, look at the things that you are considering bad and good and seeing how that's playing a purpose in your life. Now, some of these things we may not know, friend. Some of these things we may know, because again, remember when I said, because it was like a couple of minutes ago, when I said something about now, you know, deep down inside, what is that thing that you know deep down inside that's, you know, inside of you? It's like, or it could be telling you, we need to be taking care of this or something. It's like, what is that? And what is that you're pushing it down? Why are you pushing that down? And so, in getting rid of these voices that have us stuck, it could be family voices, voices from teachers, from whatever, so even our own voices or just some random voices that's just not helping us at all. How we go about replacing these voices. Yes, friend, I was going to get to it. You know I was going to get to it because this is about real talk, real God. So we can do... the reason I went to God, because God is bigger than us. And just in going this walk, I took so much time in getting to know me and trying to figure out, why do I have this? What's going on with this, that, and the other? And I did discover a lot about myself, which helped me to be more real about myself and stop putting myself in positions and predicaments that it's like, okay, this wasn't a wise choice, and I'm tired of getting caught up in this mess here. And I need some help in this, because no matter how much I try, it's like but we got to do something different. So, and even in focusing on myself, it only took me as far as myself. And yeah, I mean, it starts with myself, but I'm going to be real with you, friend. I mean, when I say this, please don't take this as I ain't never received no love. Nobody loved me. No, friend, this is not that type of thing. When you are living by your emotions, you're living by the things that your fleshly appetite desires, so to speak, because you think you want this thing and it has you in this world of confusion, and it's like, I thought this thing was good and it was like attracting me to it, it was turning me on, it was all these wonderful things. And I mean, at first time it might have been fantastic. Worse, people have different experiences with whatever this was that they was craving, they had an appetite for, and they went on and got a taste of it. And it might have been horrible the first taste, it might have been fantastic a taste after that, but then it becomes a thing like, I don't want this no more. And so when we're looking at us, we'll only go so far. And the focus becomes us. And we're looking at our power, our lack, our this, that, and the other. But the world is so much bigger than just us, my friend. So in looking at God and paying attention to the word of God, because this isn't friend, you go to church if you want to go to church, you don't want to go to church, you listen to this is not this type of thing. This has absolutely nothing to do with religion. But this is an experience. We are looking to be changed, and starting to have the hard talks with yourself helps you to be in a place to receive some of the things that God has to say to you. It's not a thing where God is going to be telling you some stuff where it's just like, I want to hear it. Because it's just going to be like, all the stuff that you're going to say to me, it's just going to be like horrible. No, God has a way of giving you hope. The thing is, it's just an accepting the truth. And he is so loving when he tells us and show us about us. And then in correcting that, people think that when we're getting corrected by God, it's this whooping. It's not. He's so loving. Like, you do more beating yourself up, because when you experience the grace that he has, because it's just like a thing when you're being checked, and I mean, it's different, but this is a thing that you want to experience, but God's love is consistent. When you're being corrected, it's a thing like, now, we didn't have to be like that, or we could have did this better. And when you reflect on how loving you're getting this correction, and just how he's showing you, just because we can be so harsh to ourselves, to other people, because we have not experienced this love. So when we're looking at ourselves and we're only leaning to our own understanding of what we think is love, what we think love is, and a lot of times this is based off an emotion that we really don't fully understand. And then when it comes to like lust and love, especially when you're not really So, friend, when we walk with God and working on getting to know God, focus on him. God has a way of showing us about us, other people, the world, whatever it is that you're interested in, he will talk to you about. But the main thing is, friend, make his interest your interest, because this is what expands you. This is what changes your being. whatever it is that you're having issues with, that you're struggling with, even the hard talks. This is starting off with being open to receive the truth. Asking those questions of really wanting to know. Because I don't even want to go all off into this thing with dating. When we are interested in someone, and it's just a thing in you want what you want when you want it. You'll finesse, you'll give an illusion, you'll say certain things. But when a person is patient and they have no desire for that type of thing, and they're involved, or they're out with someone who, like, that's their MO. They want what they want. So they're slightly predatory, like this can be male or female. When a person is patient and they're not desperate for stuff, they're able to hear better and see better, because they're not hearing and seeing by their desires of the flesh. And then what we're seeking within ourselves is something deeper than this, something deeper than what we look like, something deeper than what we feel like. We are seeking that inner truth within that is hiding in there and is just waiting for us to draw it out. And so getting to know God is what draws this out. It also puts us on our purpose. So, friend, if you don't know by now, I'm like a movie person. I'm an artist. I love many things of the arts. So, there's a movie by the name of Blink. And it is written, produced, it has a lot to do with Zoe Kravitz. I'm not going to get a lot into detail with this, just in case if you are someone who's interested in seeing this. But I will just tell a little bit, because this has a lot to do with what I was talking about. Hold on, baby. Here I come. So there was some women who were on an island. And when you don't have a purpose, you are distracted by pleasure. Now, I wasn't very deep into the movie just yet, but they were showing these women on the island, and they kind of, just thinking about how I have stuff to do, it had me questioning, like, okay, how long are they on this island? And you mean to tell me nobody has questioned this? And so this is the thing. These women had been on this island for days and had not paid attention to that. That was red flag to me, number one. It was other red flags in the beginning, but that was super red. It was like fluorescent bright red. So not going deep into that, but that was the main thing that jumped to me in this. I think it was Blink Twice. That was the name of the movie. So friends, when we are not focused, and especially because God will give us stuff to focus on when we focus on Him. Like, He'll give you stuff to be and to do. Because that doing comes in your being. And it's not thing of, here, I gave you this book and it shows you what to do. This is a living God that you are having an experience with. Could you sit there and open your heart to Him and talk to Him, ask Him questions, allow room for Him to answer? And it starts with you, because especially if we've been doing a lot of lying to ourselves, we have to prepare ourselves for this thing, because you're going to be questioning everything, thinking everything is a lie, because you've been lying about stuff, about whatever, and just lying in the atmosphere. So it's like, not that you're just going in there. This is an inner, outside, inner thing. And so along with this, now we are preparing ourselves for truth and being in a place where, okay, we're receiving this truth and we're being changed in this truth. And it's not just truth, it's also love, because this is a transformative thing. And when we get into a place of experiencing God, reading His Word, asking Him questions, because it starts, it's starting off with you. The more we get to know God, the more we learn, the more we gain this spiritual understanding, really experience what love is. Then you'll really see, like, oh my goodness, all this time I haven't properly been loving myself or properly loving others. And you gain this through having the hard talks with God, seeing the different things that he's talking about. Because, I mean, yeah, you may not like everything that he's talking about in the beginning. But when it starts and as you go and develop and start to learn the type of God that he is and how loving he is, how present he is, how faithful he is to his word, because he is not a liar. And when you experience this, you'll be filled with hope. You'll be filled with joy. You'll be filled with peace. And this is an experience thing. So in this real talk, real God thing, even if you don't know how to go about doing this thing, you can click the Wix link and I have a journey and going about starting you off and how to go about doing this thing. And even this is like you have an idea, but you just need an idea and how to kick it out because all this stuff is free 99, baby. Ain't nobody got time for sending you through no whole video talking about later on it's gonna be $375 for the first 10 minutes. No, baby, this is about unity, because I was about to sing it the first time. This is about unity and about us helping each other. So in the last video that I put, and I literally had the name of it, but the last video that I posted last Thursday, which is right after this, it has something to do with bringing the calm in. I break down a little bit in using Bishop Bronner's breakdown and how to go about this thing on a daily basis. If you want more in depth, this is where the journey comes in a real talk, real God. But anywho, friends, take time out. Even if you just like, I don't know about this God situation, start off with self. Start off having hard talks with yourself because it eases things up, but it has to start somewhere. And when you learn to start being more truthful with yourself, it's harder for you to accept others' lies. So sit down, be truthful with yourself and listen to yourself. Be honest, dissect some of these things. Don't include nobody else in on these things that are pressuring you, that's making you feel stuck. Look at the change that you want to be. And if you're having a hard time seeing that, even if you're not having a hard time seeing that, baby, lean not to your own understanding. God got a plan for you. He has a purpose for you. And along with that plan and purpose, it ain't just for you to be out here doing something and you supposed to be serving. He let grow up in him first. Be a child. Grow up in him. Get to know Daddy Father by first getting to know what type of entity he is and the things that he promises you. And once you start asking him questions and preparing yourself and opening up to receive this stuff, it's an experience of a lifetime, my friend. I love you guys. God loves you even more. Had a hard talk with him and find out why. Because he'll definitely show you and tell you. And it's a ride, baby. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. I love you guys. Had them hard talks and make it easier for you.